That was the Empire of Death. Hello everyone, welcome back to another gut check. This time we're doing Empire of Death, the season 1 finale. We've made it. This is the end. And what an ending it is. Yes, from feeling like an absolute kid in Legend of Ruby Sunday to feeling really underwhelmed and deflated by this episode. Yeah, we'll unpack what I liked, what I didn't like. This is just my initial reaction. I've only watched the episode once, so maybe rewatching it, things will come out a bit clearer. But right now, at this minute, this is possibly the weakest Russell T Davies finale, and that's quite a bold thing to say because it has all the ingredients there to be amazing. You have Sutekh, and of course you have this whole mystery around Ruby Sunday. And this is the longest episode of the series, being 55 minutes, but somehow, for me, it felt like it was the one that dragged the most. Once you know Sutekh was defeated around sort of the 40-minute mark, you've got 14 minutes to wrap up Ruby's story and find out who Ruby's mom is. We'll get to that. Right, so let's rewind back to the start of the story. So I really liked sort of the dust of Sutekh. I loved that, and sort of the chaos being unshoed and death is raining upon the planet Earth. And I thought as soon as Kate Stewart got turned into dust, I thought, yeah, we're getting the classic Russell Deus Ex Machina here, which, you know, I guess it's a thing we should expect with a Russell finale, but, you know, he's got to do his Deus Ex Machina. Let's talk about Sutekh, the big dog himself. Yeah, I think the Sutekh dialogue was really peak Doctor Who. You know, the TARDIS is going to be his altar of, you know, for his Empire of Death. I thought that was a really neat idea. I think the concept of you know, being wrapped around the TARDIS ever since the Pyramids of Mars was kind of cool. I think it would have made probably more sense if it was sort of Wild Blue Yonder, where he could sort of latch on where the sort of barriers have sort of been broken down, really. And I think the visual of Sutekh being wrapped around the TARDIS was probably not intentionally funny, but I did have a little chuckle at it. So does that mean Sutech's a companion? And is he the original K9 in the show? Yeah, like I say, I'll be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of how Sutekh got defeated. I thought that was a bit of a weak aspect within the story. I think the scenes between him and the Doctor were great, but I probably wanted a little bit more. I think the thing with this story is we got Sutekh's gift of death probably too quickly. I think we could have had sort of him build up his little empire and start destroying planets here, there and everywhere. You know, and I think the idea of him sort of sending out these little mini Susan triads wherever the Doctor's been, I thought that was a really cool idea, that sort of the Earth's dying over and over and over again. I thought that was a really neat idea and quite chilling, and I think Ncuti played that wonderfully. I think the whole scenes in sort of the memory TARDIS was brilliant. Bonnie Langford, I'm really surprised how prominent a role she played within this, and I think she does a marvellous job. I love the bits of her in sort of the memory TARDIS, with her sort of looking at the 6th Doctor's coat and sort of clinging on to the 7th Doctor's jumper. Really nice and touching moment for the fans. I think this story is very much very fan continuity. Probably just go, hey look, you remember these planets? That'll make you forget about how we're going to go about this. Yeah, I just wanted a little bit more Sutekh action. I think this is the problem when you've got a villain like Sutekh. It naturally is probably going to lead to disappointment. I think I just wanted a bit more Sutekh action. You know, for a finale, it felt a little bit sort of slow. You'd expect a bit more action. You know, fast paced. I respect, you know, you've got to have these quieter moments, but I think the story pretty much didn't feel like there was much danger within it, because you have the Doctor referencing, you know, the Sutekh servants could be, you know, anywhere. And yet we didn't really see any servants of Sutekh when we went to sort of the Ministry, you know, Department of Health. You know, I think it would have been, you know, a bit nice if we got some sort of sense of danger, but there are these things lurking around, like the actual designs of, you know, the emaciated corpses of, you know, Susan Triad and Bonnie Langford. That was really well done. I think Bonnie Langford, like I say, plays that really well as a sort of chilling servant of Sutekh. The thing I did like about this story is Sutekh did kind of win, in the sense that, you know, the Doctor had to kill him and be the thing Sutekh could never be. You know, the Doctor is the god of life, and then you have the god of death in the form of Sutekh. So I liked that. But yeah, once we've put all our, you know, toys back in our box, we've got to solve the mystery of Ruby Sunday, Ruby's mom. Yeah, I think fans' concepts were a lot more exciting. I wasn't expecting Susan. I think Russell was really playing and leaning into that. You know, with this sort of woman patiently waiting at the end of the universe. But let's talk about Ruby's mom's reveal. I think this is probably meant to sort of empower us. That, you know, Ruby is just an ordinary human being, but she can be extraordinary. And that's what makes her special, that she's ordinary. And this is the thing. We've put Ruby on a pedestal for the past couple of weeks about what makes her so special and unique, and it's just, yeah, her mom's just an ordinary human being, and you're like, oh, okay, that's a bit, okay, we're doing this. And then the whole reveal that what was she pointing at was the sign of Ruby Road, which makes no sense because nobody was around, and she's not going, hey, I'm naming my kid Ruby Road, but nobody will know this because I've not said it. Yeah, that left me feeling a little bit cold, to be honest. I think Millie Gibson really did sell that scene of meeting her mom in sort of a little cafe. You know, Millie, you know, working in Coronation Street, she really probably excels at, you know, the kitchen sink domestic drama aspect. I think Millie played that really well, and I loved the little goodbye between her and the 15th Doctor. We know that this isn't the end of Ruby and the 15th Doctor. We know Ruby's back for season 2. But yeah, I think the Ruby mom reveal was, you know, my ears kind of picked up. I was like, when I heard like Miller, I was like, oh, are we getting like Lucy Miller? Is it like a Lucy Miller's family? So sort of the snow as well was an interesting thing. How does that, because that sort of felt very kind of mystical and very wrapped round, you know, this thing, and you know, it made Ruby Road feel like this sort of space-time event, you know, with Ruby being sort of left at the church. But yeah, it's just an ordinary thing, which, yeah, it's at that point after that, I probably didn't care. I was clock watching, which is not a thing you want for the finale. And it feels bad to say this, you know, because this is sort of thing we've all been investing, you know, who is Ruby's mom? And I think, yeah, I think we probably were set up for disappointment, really, with it. But hey ho, yeah, I guess that's all I can really say on Empire of Death. I think that it's a story what has its moments. It really has some really nice little character moments. The scenes between Ncuti and Sutekh are great. I just wanted a little bit more Sutekh action. Yeah, I guess that's all I can say about Empire of Death. Yeah, it's amazing how you could feel like a kid 1 week and then sort of come out of it going, yeah, I just feel a little bit underwhelmed. And I think, like I say, this being the longest episode in the series, but yet it felt the slowest, is a bit of a strange one to say, really. The character moments were great within it. I just probably wanted a little bit more action within it, because I feel like the story could at times feel a little bit sort of static. You know, maybe if Sutekh was introduced in Legend of Ruby Sunday a bit earlier, we could have had a bit more action with Sutekh and, you know, seen a bit more of his sort of death and carnage. But it made for a really good cliffhanger, and it made us really excited, and now we're just kind of sort of digesting it. But yeah, overall I think I'll give Empire of Death probably a 5 or 6 out of 10. I think it had its moments where it was great, but I think the resolution for Sutekh was a little bit disappointing. But again, how can you defeat, you know, this titan of a Doctor Who villain? And then of course we have Ruby's mom sort of mystery. I think this episode there was a lot to unpack and sort of try and solve. We've got the whole mystery of Mrs. Flood still to cover. Is she Romana? Is she Susan? Is she a Time Lord? Is she the monk? Or is she just someone completely different? Because we did get a few little hints around it within this story. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what the season 2 has for that. But yeah, that has been Gut Check for Empire of Death. Let me know your thoughts, whether you really enjoyed it. or you are like me, just left a little bit cold by it. Yeah, I feel like I'm at Ruby Road myself in the snow, just sort of freezing, going, ugh. Yeah, so yeah, that has been my review on Empire of Death. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for plenty more Doctor related content, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.